Commander Taemin pressed his face against the cold metal wall of the bunker. His hands shook as he held the radio. Outside, he could hear the terrible sounds of his soldiers dying. The screaming had stopped 5 minutes ago. That was worse than the screaming. "Command, this is Outpost 7, he whispered into the radio. "The beast is here, we can't stop it, nothing works." The voice that came back was full of static. "Say again, Commander. Did you use the plasma cannons?" Taemin wanted to laugh, but no sound came out. "Sir, we hit it with everything. The plasma cannons did nothing. The missile strikes did nothing, it just keeps coming." Through the small window he could see the thing that had destroyed his base. The Keltharians called it a Warbeast, but that name was too small for what he was looking at. The creature stood as tall as a building. Its body was covered in dark crystal that seemed to eat light. 6 long arms moved like deadly snakes, each one ending in claws that could cut through steel like paper dot. But the worst part was not how it looked. The worst part was how it made you feel. Just being near the beast made soldiers go crazy with fear. Strong men who had fought in 100 battles would drop their weapons and run away crying. Some would just stand there and wait to die. Tae-Min had seen it happen to his own men. Good soldiers, brave soldiers, all of them broken by whatever power the beast carried in its mind. "Commander, you need to hold your position," the voice on the radio said. "Help is coming." "No," Taemin said quietly. "Help is not coming. Nothing can stop this thing." He had been fighting wars for 20 years. He had seen alien weapons that could melt mountains. He had fought robots that never got tired and never felt fear. But this was different. This beast was not just a weapon. It was something that should not exist. The creature moved closer to his bunker. Each step shook the ground like a small earthquake. Taemin could feel his mind starting to break apart. The beast was doing something to his thoughts, making fear grow inside his head like poison. 3 hours ago, he had commanded 500 soldiers. Now he was alone in a broken bunker, waiting to die. The beast had first appeared on the planet, Kepler 442b 6 months ago. The Keltharian Empire had been fighting humans for years, but they were losing the war. Humans were too smart, too fast, too good at working together. So the Keltharians made something new. They made the war beasts. Nobody knew how they did it. Some people said it was science. Others said it was dark magic from the old worlds. All that mattered was what the beast could do. The first beast had destroyed an entire human colony in one day. 50,000 people, all dead. The second beast had broken through the defense lines around the Centauri system. The third beast had made an entire fleet of human warships surrender without firing a shot. And now this beast, the fourth one, was here on Kepler 442b. It had already destroyed the main city. The spaceport was gone. The mines were gone. Soon everyone would be gone. Dr. So Young ran through the halls of Research Station Omega 7. Her white lab coat was torn and dirty. Behind her, she could hear the sound of metal being ripped apart. The beast was breaking into the station. She reached her lab and sat down at her computer. Her fingers moved fast across the keyboard. She had been studying the war beasts for months, trying to find a way to stop them. Now she had only minutes to send her research to the human fleet. "Computer, open emergency channel to Earth Command," she said. "Channel open, Dr. So Young," the computer replied. "This is Dr. So Young at Research Station Omega 7. I am sending all data on the war beast behavior patterns. Please listen carefully. The beast is not just a weapon. It is alive. It thinks. It learns. Each battle makes it smarter." The station shook as something huge hit the outer wall. So Young kept typing, sending files as fast as she could. The beast shows signs of intelligence, but also signs of confusion. Its brain scans are strange. It has the mind of a thinking creature, but something is wrong. It acts like an animal that has been hurt very badly. It is angry all the time, but I think the anger comes from pain. Another crash shook the station. Sparks flew from the lights above her head. I have also discovered something else. The beast responds to certain sounds and movements, not weapons or threats, but I don't know how to explain it. Gentle things. calm things. It stops attacking for a few seconds when it hears a child's voice on our recordings. The door to her lab began to bend inward. Something was pushing against it from outside. I am uploading everything now. The neural scans, the behavior studies, everything. Please, someone has to figure this out. These creatures are not just weapons of war. They are something else. Something that needs help. The door exploded inward. Dr. So Young looked up to see a huge claw reaching toward her. But she kept talking into the radio. The Keltharians don't understand what they made. The beasts are not evil. They are lost. They are scared. They are... The transmission ended. High above the planet, Admiral Sunwoo stood on the bridge of his flagship. He had received Dr. So Young's message, but he did not understand it. How could something that killed so many people be scared? Sir, we have the beast on our screens, said Captain Donghyun. It is moving toward the last group of survivors. Sunwoo looked at the display. A group of civilians was hiding in an old mining complex. They had nowhere to run. If the beast reached them, they would all die. Prepare the orbital cannons, Sunwoo said. Full power. Sir, the civilians are too close. We might hit them. If we don't try, they will all die anyway. The great guns of the human fleet turned toward the planet. Energy gathered in the weapon systems. This was their last chance to stop the beast. Fire! Sunwoo ordered. Beams of pure energy shot down from space. They hit the beast with the power of a small sun. The ground around the creature turned to glass. Smoke and fire filled the air. For a moment, nobody moved. Then the smoke cleared. The beast was still standing. The energy that should have destroyed a mountain had not even slowed it down. The dark crystals on its skin glowed brighter now, as if the attack had made it stronger. Impossible, whispered Captain Dong-Hyun. But Sunwoo was reading Dr. So Young's files. Something in her words made him think. The beast was intelligent. It was learning. But it was also in pain. What if the pain was making it angry? What if the anger was making it fight? And what if there was another way to stop the fighting? It was a crazy idea. But crazy ideas were all they had left. Send a message to Earth, Sunwoo said. Tell them we need to try something different. Tell them to send Dr. Heejin and her family. Sir, the xenobiologist? Why do we need her? Sunwoo looked at the beast on the screen. It was walking toward the civilians again, slow and steady like death itself. Because she has something the beast has never seen before, he said. She has a child. 8-year-old Jiho sat in his small room on the research ship New Seoul. His mother and father were scientists who studied alien animals. They traveled from planet to planet, learning about creatures that lived in the stars. Jiho had never lived on a real planet. The ship was his home. He was drawing pictures with his colored pencils when the alarm started ringing. The sound made him drop his pencil and cover his ears. Something was wrong. His mother, Dr. Haya Jin, ran into his room. Her face was pale and scared. Jiho, we need to pack quickly, she said. We are going somewhere dangerous. Why, Mom? Jiho asked. What's happening? Jin knelt down and held his hands. There is a creature that is hurting people. The soldiers cannot stop it. They think we might be able to help. Jiho was different from other children. He could feel what animals were feeling, even when they were far away. His parents called it empathy, but Jiho just knew it as the way he understood creatures. When a dog was happy, he felt happy. When a cat was scared, he felt scared too. Most of the time, it was a good thing. He could help. Sick animals get better by knowing what was wrong with them. But sometimes it was hard. When animals were in pain, Jiho felt their pain too. Is the creature sad? Jiho asked. His mother looked surprised. Why do you ask that? I had bad dreams last night. I saw a big animal that was very, very sad. It was looking for something but could not find it. It was angry because it was sad. Hyejin stared at her son. The ship had been traveling through space for 3 days. They were still far from the planet where the beast was fighting. How could Jiho feel something from so far away? Pack your favorite things, she said. We leave in 1 hour. Jiho's father, Dr. Wubin, was already putting equipment into boxes when they came to his lab. He looked worried. "The captain says we will reach Kepler 442b in 6 hours," he said to Hyejin. "The military will take us down in a medical ship. They want us to study the creature after they kill it." "What if they cannot kill it?" Hyejin asked. Wu-bin stopped packing. "Then we all die." They transferred to the military medical ship Mercy 3 hours later. Captain Young-sik met them at the docking bay. He was a kind man with gray hair and gentle eyes, but his face was serious. "Dr. Hyejin, Dr. Wubin, thank you for coming," he said. "I know this is dangerous." "We want to help," Hyejin said, "but I am worried about bringing our son." Young-sik looked down at Jiho. "The Admiral specifically asked for your family to come, all of you. He said it was important." During the trip to the planet, Jiho's dreams got worse. He would wake up crying, talking about the big creature that was lost and angry. His parents tried to make him feel better, but nothing worked. "It is calling for someone," Jiho told them, "but nobody answers. That is why it is so mad." Dr. Minsu, the ship's doctor, examined Jiho. The boy's brain scans showed unusual activity in the parts that controlled emotion and empathy. "His gift is getting stronger," Minsu told the parents. "Being closer to the creature is making the connection stronger." "Is it dangerous, War?" Wubin asked. "I don't know. This is the first time we have seen anything like this." On the second day of their trip, something strange happened. Jiho was sleeping when he suddenly sat up and started drawing. His eyes were closed, but his hand moved across the paper like he could see what he was drawing. When he finished, his parents looked at the picture. It showed a huge creature with 6 arms and crystal skin. But the creature was not fighting or destroying things. It was sitting in a dark place, alone. It looked like it was crying. "That is the sad animal," Jiho said when he woke up. "It wants to go home, but it does not know where home is." The ship's communication officer, Lieutenant J1, brought them a message from Admiral Sunwoo. The message said that the beast had destroyed 3 more outposts. Hundreds of soldiers were dead. The orbital bombardment had failed. "We are humanity's last hope," the message said. "If we cannot stop this creature, we will have to abandon the planet." Captain Young-sik gathered everyone in the ship's meeting room. Soldiers, doctors, and scientists all listened as he spoke. "In 12 hours, we will reach the planet," he said. "The beast is currently attacking the main survivor camp. We will land as close as we can and try to evacuate the civilians." Sergeant Young-ho, the head of the ship's Marines, raised his hand. "Sir, what about the creature? How do we fight it?" "We don't fight it," Young-sik said. "Our job is to save people and get out. The fleet will handle the beast." But Jiho knew that the fleet could not stop the creature. In his dreams, he had seen the big guns shooting at it. The creature just got stronger when they hurt it. Hurting it made it more angry and more sad. That night, Jiho could not sleep. He went to the ship's observation deck and looked out at the stars. The planet was getting bigger. Soon they would be there. His mother found him there an hour later. "What are you thinking about?" she asked. "The sad animal is not bad," Jiho said. "It is just lost. Someone made it wrong, and now it cannot find its way back to being good." Hyejin sat down next to her son. "What do you mean?" "Animals are supposed to have families, mothers and fathers and friends. But this animal was born alone. It never learned how to be happy. It only knows how to be scared and angry." "How do you know all this?" Jiho looked at his mother with his big, serious eyes. "Because it told me in my dreams. It does not want to hurt people. It just does not know how to stop." The next morning, they reached the planet. Through the ship's windows, they could see smoke rising from burning cities. The beast had destroyed everything. Captain Young-sik came to their room. "We are going down in 10 minutes. Stay close to the Marines. Do not leave the ship unless I tell you." As they prepared to land, Jiho felt the creature's emotions getting stronger. Fear, anger, loneliness, and something else. Hope. The creature could feel him too. For the first time in its life, it sensed another mind that was not afraid of it. "Mom," Jiho said as the ship shook during landing. "I think the animal knows I am here." "What do you mean?" "It is coming to find me." The medical ship Mercy landed in what used to be New Geneva Colony. Now it was just broken buildings and empty streets. Smoke rose from fires that had been burning for days. The air smelled like metal and fear. Captain Young-sik led his Marines out of the ship first. They moved carefully, their weapons ready. Behind them came the medical team, Dr. Hye-jin, Dr. Woo-bin, and little Jiho. "Stay close to me," Sergeant Young-ho told the family. "We are here to evacuate survivors, not to fight the beast." They found the survivors hiding in an underground shelter beneath the old city hall. 43 people, mostly civilians who worked in the mines. They looked tired and scared. Some were hurt. "Thank God you came," said Mayor Kwang-soo. He was an old man with white hair and kind eyes. "We thought nobody was coming to save us." "We are here now," Young-sik said. "We need to get everyone to the ship quickly." But as they started moving the survivors, the ground began to shake. Footsteps. Big footsteps. Getting closer, G-Ho felt it before anyone else. The creature's emotions hit him like a wave. Fear, anger, and something else. Curiosity. The beast was coming, but not to attack. It wanted to see who was making the strange feelings in its head. "It's coming," Jiho whispered to his mother. "What?" Hye-jin asked. "The sad animal. It knows I am here." Young-ho heard the boy and spoke into his radio. "All units, prepare for contact. The beast is approaching." The Marines formed a circle around the civilians. Their weapons were charged and ready, but everyone knew the guns would not work. Nothing worked against the beast. Then they saw it. The Warbeast walked around the corner of a broken building like it owned the world. It was even bigger than the pictures had shown. 12 meters tall, with 6 arms that moved like snakes. Its crystal skin was dark blue, almost black, and it seemed to absorb the light around it. The worst part was the feeling it brought. Just looking at the creature made people want to run away and hide. The Marines started shaking. Some of the civilians began to cry. "Nobody move," Young-ho ordered, but his voice was shaking too. The beast stopped 50 meters away. Its head turned, from side to side looking at all the humans. Its eyes were like stars, bright blue and full of intelligence. For a moment, nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Then the beast took a step forward. "Fall back to the ship," Young-ho ordered. "Move slowly. Do not run." But as the humans started to move, the beast moved too. It was faster than something that big should be. In 3 steps, it was between them and their ship. "We are trapped," whispered Mayor Kwang-soo. Admiral Sun Woo watched from his flagship high above the planet. The cameras on the Marines' helmets showed him everything. He could see the beast standing in front of the humans like a living mountain. "Sir, should we fire the orbital guns?" asked Captain Dong-hyun. "No," Sun Woo said. "We are too close to our people. We would kill them too." All they could do was watch and hope. The beast lowered its huge head and looked at the group of humans. Its star-bright eyes moved from person to person, studying them. The Marines kept their weapons pointed at it, but their hands shook so badly. They could barely hold the guns. Then the beast's eyes found G-Ho. The boy stood between his parents, looking up at the creature without fear. While everyone else shook with terror, Jiho felt something different. He felt the beast's loneliness, its confusion, its pain. The creature tilted its head to one side, like a dog hearing a strange sound. It took one step closer to the boy. Then another. "No," Hye-jin whispered. She tried to pull Jiho behind her, but the boy did not move. "It's okay, Mom," Jiho said quietly. "It's not going to hurt me." The beast knelt down, bringing its massive head closer to the humans. Its face was just 3 meters from Jiho now. The boy could see his reflection in the creature's crystal skin. For 30 seconds, they just looked at each other. The beast and the boy. The destroyer of worlds and the 8-year-old child who could feel its pain. In those 30 seconds, Something passed between them, understanding, recognition. The beast saw something in Jiho that it had never seen before, kindness without fear. Love without conditions. And Jiho saw what the beast really was. Not a monster. Not a weapon. Just a very large, very lost child that had never learned how to be anything except angry. The creature made a sound. Not a roar, or a growl, but something soft and questioning. Like a whale song, but sadder. "You are looking for home," Jiho said to the beast. His voice was small but clear. "You have never had a home." The beast's eyes grew brighter. It understood the boy's words, or at least the feelings behind them. "You are tired of being angry," Jiho continued. "You want to rest." The creature's head moved up and down slightly. A nod. Sergeant Young-ho could not believe what he was seeing. The beast that had killed thousands of soldiers was having a conversation with an 8-year-old boy. "Sir," he whispered into his radio, "you need to see this." High above, Admiral Sun-woo leaned forward in his chair. The cameras showed the beast and the boy facing each other like old friends. "What is happening down there?" Dong-hyun asked. "I think," Sun-woo said slowly, "we are seeing the answer to our problem." Back on the planet, Jiho stepped closer to the beast. His mother tried to stop him, but he shook his head. "It's okay," he said. "It will not hurt me. It has never wanted to hurt anyone. It just did not know how to stop." The boy reached out his small hand toward the creature's massive claw. Everyone held their breath. If the beast moved just a little bit, it could cut the child in half. But the beast did not move. It let the boy's tiny hand touch its claw. The crystal was warm, not cold like metal. It felt alive. "You are not a monster," Jiho said to the beast. "You are just sad and scared and alone. But you do not have to be alone anymore." The creature made that whale song sound again, but softer this time, like a sigh of relief. Then Jiho did something that would change everything. He looked up into the beast's glowing eyes and said one simple word. "Sit." The word hung in the air like magic. "Sit." Jiho had not shouted it or commanded it. He had just said it the way he might ask his mother for a glass of water. Simple, gentle, kind. The warbeast looked down at the small boy for a long moment. Its glowing eyes seemed to study his face. Then, slowly, the creature began to lower itself to the ground. Its 6 massive arms folded beneath its body. Its crystal hide scraped against the broken concrete as it settled down. The beast that had destroyed armies and leveled cities was sitting like an obedient dog. Sergeant Young-ho's mouth fell open. He had been a soldier for 15 years, but he had never seen anything like this. His radio crackled with voices from the ship above. "Did that just happen?" Admiral Sun-woo's voice asked. "Yes, sir," Young-ho whispered. "The beast is sitting." "Impossible." "Sir, I am looking right at it." On the ground, the Marines slowly lowered their weapons. The terrible fear that the beast usually created was gone. The air felt normal again. Some of the civilians stopped crying. Dr. Hyejin stared at her son in amazement. Jiho was standing next to the creature's massive head, his tiny hand still resting on its claw. The beast had not moved since it sat down. "How did you know to do that?" she asked. "Animals understand simple words," Jiho said. "Mom taught me that when I was little. But this animal never heard simple words before. It only heard shouting and anger." Dr. Kyung-soo, the chief scientist on Admiral Sun-woo's ship, was analyzing the beast's bio-readings from space. What he saw made no sense. "Sir, the creature's stress hormones have dropped to almost 0, he reported. Its aggressive pheromone production has stopped completely. Its brain activity shows patterns I have never seen before." "What kind of patterns?" Sun-woo asked. "Calm patterns, content patterns." "Sir, if I did not know better, I would say the creature is happy." The beast looked down at Jiho and made a soft rumbling sound deep in its chest. It was like a cat purring, but much deeper. The sound made the boy smile. "What is your name?" "Jiho," asked the creature. The beast tilted its head. It had never had a name. The Keltharians who made it just called it Unit 4, or the weapon. But Jiho could feel that it wanted a name. It wanted to be more than just a thing that destroyed. "I will call you Biol," Jiho said. "That means star in my language. You have star eyes." The creature made the purring sound again. Biol. It liked having a name. Dr. Wubin approached slowly, his scientific equipment in his hands. He had studied hundreds of alien creatures, but never one like this. "The bioscans are incredible," he told his wife. "This creature has a brain structure similar to Earth's social mammals, dolphins, whales, elephants, animals that need families and groups to be healthy." "But it has been alone," Hyejin said, understanding. "Alone since it was born." "No wonder it was so angry," Wubin said. "Imagine a dolphin raised in complete isolation, never seeing another dolphin. It would go insane." Biol's ears twitched at their words. The creature could understand human speech better than anyone had realized. It had learned by listening to soldiers before it killed them. But these humans were different. They spoke with soft voices and kind words. Mayor Kwang-Su stepped forward carefully. He was still afraid, but he could see that the beast was no longer dangerous. "Will it let us leave?" he asked G-Ho. The boy looked up at Biol. "We need to go to our ship now. Will you let us go?" Biol's great head nodded once. Then the creature stood up and stepped to one side, clearing the path to the landing area. "It understands," whispered one of the Marines. The group began moving toward their ship, walking slowly so they would not frighten the beast. Biol followed them, staying about 10 meters behind. It moved quietly for something so large. "Why is it following us?" Sergeant Young-Ho asked nervously. "Because it does not want to be alone anymore," Jiho said. "It has been alone its whole life." When they reached the ship, Captain Young-Sik came out to meet them. He stopped dead when he saw the massive creature following the group. "What is that thing doing?" he asked. "I think it wants to come with us," Jiho said. "Absolutely not," Young-Sik said. "That creature is too dangerous." But Biol seemed to understand the conversation. The creature lay down on the ground near the ship and put its head on its claws. It looked like a giant dog waiting for its master to come home. Admiral Sun Wu's voice came over the radio. "Captain, we need to bring that creature up to the fleet." "Sir, that is not possible. It is too big for our ships." "Then we will send down a cargo hauler. Dr. Kyung-Soo says this might be the breakthrough we have been waiting for. If we can understand how the boy calmed the beast, we might be able to stop the other 3 creatures." Jiho heard this and felt worried. "Other creatures? There are 3 more like Biol," his mother explained. "They are attacking other human worlds." The boy looked at Biol, who was still lying quietly near the ship. "They are probably just as sad and lonely as Biol was. They need help too." Dr. Sang Min, a scientist who specialized in alien brains, was already on his way down from the fleet. When he arrived and saw Biol, he immediately began taking readings. "Fascinating," he said, studying his instruments. "The creature's neural activity shows signs of severe social deprivation. It has the brain of a pack animal, but it has never been part of a pack." "What does that mean?" Young-Sik asked. "It means the Keltharians created the perfect weapon by accident," Sang Min explained. "They took a creature that needs love and companionship to be healthy, and they raised it in complete isolation. The loneliness and pain drove it insane with rage. But the boy calmed it down. Yes, for the first time in its life, this creature experienced kindness, gentleness, acceptance. The response was immediate. Biol listened to the humans talking about it. The creature was learning that it was not broken or evil. It was just a creature that had been raised wrong. This knowledge filled it with a strange new feeling. Hope. As the sun set on the destroyed planet, Biol began to make a new sound. It was low and musical, like singing. The sound traveled through the air and up into space, where it was picked up by the human fleet's sensors. "What is it doing?" Captain Donghyun asked. Dr. Sang-min looked at his readings in amazement. It is broadcasting. The sound is being transmitted on the same frequency that the Keltharians use to control their Warbeasts. What is it broadcasting? Peace, Sang-min said. It is telling its brothers that it found something better than anger. Across the galaxy, 3 other warbeasts stopped their attacks and lifted their heads to listen to Biol's song. For the first time in their short, violent lives, they heard the voice of their own kind calling to them with a message of hope. The war was about to change forever. News of what happened on Kepler 442b spread through the human fleet like wildfire. Within hours, every ship in the galaxy knew that a small boy had made a warbeast sit down with one word. General Jae-sung stood in the command center on Earth, reading the reports. He was a hard man who had fought in many wars, but this news made him feel something he had not felt in months. Hope. Are you certain about this? He asked Admiral Sunwoo over the communication link. I have seen the videos myself, General, Sunwoo replied. The creature is completely calm. It follows the boy around like a pet. Our scientists say it has bonded with him. Jae-sung looked at the tactical display. Red dots showed where the other 3 warbeasts were attacking human colonies. Each dot represented millions of people in danger. Can the boy communicate with the other creatures? Jae-sung asked. We are testing that now. The beast here has been making strange sounds. Our computers say the sounds are being transmitted to the other warbeasts. President Na-young entered the command center. She was a small woman with gray hair, but her voice was strong. General, I have been reading the reports. Is it true that this creature can be controlled by a child? It appears so, Madam President, but we do not know why or how. Na-young studied the reports. Dr. Sang-min's analysis says the creatures need social contact to be healthy. They are like children who were never taught how to behave. Yes, ma'am. Then we need to treat them like children. Na-young turned to her aide. Contact the Education Ministry. I want a list of every child with empathic abilities. We are going to need volunteers. Back on the fleet near Kepler 442b, Ji-ho sat with Biol in the cargo bay of a large transport ship. The creature had to curl up to fit inside, but it seemed comfortable. It kept its big head near Ji-ho, making soft purring sounds. Dr. Hai-jin watched her son with amazement and worry. Are you sure this is safe? She asked Dr. Sang-min. Creature shows no signs of aggression, Sang-min replied. In fact, its stress levels are lower than we see in most Earth animals. It is more relaxed than a house cat. Biol opened one glowing eye and looked at the doctor. Then it made a sound that was almost like laughter. It understands us, Ji-ho said. It knows we are talking about it. The creature is highly intelligent, Dr. Kyung-soo said as he studied his readings. Its brain is actually larger than a human brain. It can learn languages, solve problems, and even predict our actions. If it is so smart, why did it destroy so much? Ye-jin asked. Because intelligence without guidance becomes dangerous, Kyung-soo explained. Imagine if you raised a human child alone in a box, never teaching it right from wrong. When you finally let it out, it would not know how to behave. Ji-ho stroked Biol's crystal hide. The creature closed its eyes and made happy sounds. Biol was not taught to be good, the boy said. It was only taught to fight, but it can learn new things. Admiral Sunwoo came to the cargo bay with urgent news. We have received a message from Earth. The other 3 warbeasts have stopped attacking. Stopped? Sang-min asked. Completely? They are not moving. They seem to be listening to something. Our communications experts think your creature is talking to them. Ji-ho looked at Biol. Are you talking to your brothers? Biol nodded and made a long, musical sound. The sound was picked up by the ship's communication system and broadcast into space. Within minutes, answers came back. 3 different voices, singing the same sad song. The other warbeasts were calling back to Biol. What are they saying? Sunwoo asked. Ji-ho listened carefully. With his empathic abilities, he could feel the emotions in the creature's songs. They are lonely, he said. They want to come here. They want to be with Biol. Impossible, Sunwoo said. We cannot have 4 war beasts in one place. But Dr. Sang-min was thinking, actually, Admiral, that might be exactly what we need. Explain. These creatures are pack animals. They need to be with their own kind to be mentally healthy. Biol found peace when it bonded with Jiho, but it would be even happier with its brothers. Yijin looked worried. One child cannot handle 4 creatures this size. No, Sang-min agreed. But what if we had 4 children? The idea was crazy, but it made sense. President Na-young approved the plan within hours. Children with empathic abilities from across human space were brought to the fleet. Most were scared, but some were excited to help. 8-year-old Yoonji came from the farming world of New Korea. She had always been able to talk to the animals on her family's farm. 10-year-old Do-yoon came from the mining station at Proxima, Centauri. He could feel the emotions of the small creatures that lived in the asteroid belts. There was also Subin, age 9, who could calm any animal just by singing to it, and Minho, age 7, who had never met an animal that did not trust him. Are you scared? Jiho asked them when they arrived. A little, Yoonji admitted. But my grandmother always said that scared animals just need someone to be kind to them. These are very big animals, Do-yoon said. But big does not always mean mean. General Jae-sung was not happy about the plan. We are risking children's lives based on one lucky accident. It was not luck, President Na-young said firmly. It was empathy. These children have abilities that our soldiers do not have. They can reach the creatures in ways that weapons cannot. The first test came when Warbeast number 2 arrived. It was smaller than Biol but still huge. Its crystal hide was red instead of blue, and it moved differently. More nervous, more afraid. Yoon-ji volunteered to make first contact. She approached the creature slowly, the way she approached frightened farm animals. Hello, she said in a soft voice. My name is Yoonji. Are you lost? The red creature stopped moving. It had never heard words like these before. It tilted its head and looked down at the small girl. It's okay to be scared, Yoonji continued. I get scared sometimes too. But you are safe now. The creature took one step toward her, then stopped. It was still afraid. Biol, watching from nearby, made a gentle sound. It was telling its brother that the humans were friends, not enemies. The red creature listened to Biol, then looked back at Yoonji. Slowly, carefully, it lowered itself to the ground. Would you like to sit with me? Yoonji asked. The creature moved closer and sat down next to the girl. For the first time in its life, it felt safe. Yoon had similar success with Warbeast number 3 when it arrived. Subin calmed the 4th creature by singing a lullaby her mother had taught her. Soon, all 4 warbeasts were gathered together in a large clearing on Kepler, 442b. They sat in a circle with the children in the center, making soft sounds to each other. It was the sound of a family reunited after a long separation. Dr. Sang-min took readings from all 4 creatures. Their stress levels are at the lowest we have ever recorded. They are completely at peace. What happens now? Admiral Sunwoo asked. Now, President Na-young said over the communication link, we teach them how to be something other than weapons. But there was still one problem. The Keltharian Empire had lost their ultimate weapons, and they were not happy about it. A massive fleet was already on its way to reclaim their property. How long until they arrive? Jae-sung asked. 18 hours, Sunwoo replied. The general looked at the tactical display. The Keltharian fleet was 3 times larger than the human fleet. In a normal battle, humanity would lose. But this would not be a normal battle. This time humanity had something the Keltharians had never seen before. This time, humanity had love. The Keltharian fleet arrived like a storm of metal and fire. 300 warships, each one bristling with weapons that could destroy planets. At the center of the fleet was the massive command ship Dark Victory, home to Admiral Galthun, the greatest military leader in Keltharian history. Gal then stood on his bridge, his forearms crossed in anger. His gray skin was marked with the battle scars of 100 wars. His red eyes glowed with fury. Report, he growled to his officers. Sir, The humans have gathered around planet Kepler 442b, said Commander Velkoth. Our sensors detect all four warbeasts on the surface. Good, prepare to reclaim our property. Sir, there is something strange. The warbeasts are not moving, they appear to be sitting. Galthan's eyes narrowed. Sitting? That is impossible. Warbeasts do not sit. They destroy. Yes, sir. But our readings are clear. They are motionless and showing no aggressive behavior. The Admiral studied the tactical display. The human fleet was much smaller than his own, but they were not running away. Instead, they seemed to be protecting something on the planet below. Send a message to the human Admiral, Galthan ordered. Tell him to return our weapons immediately, or we will take them by force. Admiral Sunwoo received the message on his flagship. He looked at it for a long moment, then deleted it without answering. Sir? Captain Donghyun asked. Should we respond? No, Sunwoo said. Let our actions speak for us. Down on the planet, the four children sat with their new friends. Biol and his brothers were calm and happy, making soft sounds to each other. They had spent the night learning to be a family, instead of weapons. G-Ho felt the arrival of the Keltharian fleet like a dark cloud passing overhead. The warbeasts felt it too. Their songs became worried and sad. They want to take you back, Ji-Ho said to Biol, but we will not let them. Biol made a questioning sound. It did not understand why its creators would want it back when they had never shown it kindness. Because they think you belong to them, Yoonji explained to the red creature. They do not understand that you are not things. You are people. Dr. Sang-min was monitoring the creature's brain activity. The war beasts are becoming agitated. They remember the Keltharians, and those memories are not pleasant. President Na Young's voice came over the communication system. All civilian ships are to withdraw to minimum safe distance. Military vessels prepare for defensive action only. We are not here to fight. We are here to protect. The Keltharian fleet moved into attack formation. Galton had no patience for human games. Begin. Orbital bombardment, he ordered. Target the areas around the warbeasts. Use low-power weapons. We want to retrieve our property undamaged. Energy beams lanced down from the Keltharian ships, striking the ground near the clearing where the warbeasts sat. The children hugged their huge friends as dirt and rocks flew through the air. But something unexpected happened. Instead of becoming angry and violent, the warbeasts moved to protect the children. Biol spread its massive body over Ji-Ho, shielding him from the falling debris. The other creatures did the same for their young friends. Sir, Commander Velkoth reported to Admiral Galthan. The warbeasts are not responding to the attack. They are protecting the humans. What? Galthan stared at his screens in disbelief. That is impossible. Warbeasts are programmed to destroy humans, not protect them. Yes, sir, but they are definitely shielding the human children from our weapons. Galthan felt something he had never felt before. Confusion. In 300 years of life, he had never seen a warbeast do anything except kill and destroy. Cease bombardment, he ordered. Prepare landing forces. We will retrieve the warbeasts. Manually. But President Na Young had been waiting for this moment. As soon as the Keltharian troop ships began launching, she gave a command that surprised everyone. Release the families, she said. Admiral Sunwoo looked puzzled. Ma'am? You heard me, Admiral. Release the families. Across the human fleet, the doors of civilian transport ships opened. Hundreds of families flew out in small shuttles heading for the planet below. Mothers and fathers with their children, grandparents, teachers, doctors, and ordinary people who had volunteered for the strangest rescue mission in galactic history. What are those humans doing? Galthan demanded. Sir, they appear to be evacuating their families to the planet. They are flying directly toward our landing zones. Are they insane? Do they want their children to be in the middle of a battle? But as the human families landed, something beautiful happened. The children ran toward the warbeasts with joy and excitement. They had heard the stories of Ji-Ho and his friends, and They wanted to meet the creatures for themselves. Soon, hundreds of human children were sitting with the four warbeasts, laughing and playing. The creatures, who had never seen so many young humans before, were fascinated. They made gentle sounds and carefully touched the children with their massive claws. Young Subin began singing one of her lullabies. Other children joined in. Soon, hundreds of voices were singing together while the warbeast listened with wonder. Gal then watched this scene on his screens and felt his world view cracking apart. Everything he had believed about humans and warbeasts was wrong. "Sir," Velkoth said quietly, "our troops have landed, but they cannot get close to the warbeasts. The creatures are surrounded by human children. Order the troops to move the children out of the way. Sir, the children are not afraid of our soldiers. They are offering them cookies." Galthan looked at his screens again. Human children were indeed approaching his heavily armed warriors and offering them food. His soldiers, trained for brutal combat, stood frozen in confusion. "What do we do, sir?" one soldier asked over the radio. The small human handed me a flower and said, I looked sad. For the first time in his long military career, Admiral Galthan had no answer. Dr. Sangmin was taking readings from the warbeasts as the children played around them. What he saw made him smile. "Their brain activity is incredible," he reported, to the fleet. "They are showing curiosity, joy, protectiveness, and affection. These are the brain patterns of healthy, happy creatures." "What changed?" Sun Wu asked. "They found their purpose," Sangmin explained. "Warbeasts were designed to be social creatures, but they were raised to be weapons. Now they have discovered what they were really meant to be. Which is guardians, protectors, friends." Jiho stood up and walked over to one of the Keltharian soldiers. The alien warrior was 3 meters tall and covered in armor, but he looked confused and lost. "Are you okay?" Jiho asked. "You look like you do not understand what is happening." The soldier stared down at the small human child. In his language, he said, "I came here to retrieve weapons of war, but I see no weapons, only families." "The big animals are not weapons," Jiho explained, even though he could not understand the alien's words. "They are our friends. They protect us because we are kind to them." Biol approached the soldier slowly. The warbeast recognized its creator's people, but it felt no anger toward them. Instead, it felt pity. These beings had created something beautiful but had never learned to appreciate it. The soldier stepped back in fear, but Biol made a gentle sound. The creature sat down and carefully extended one claw toward the alien. An offer of friendship. The soldier looked at the claw, then at Jiho, then back at the creature he had helped design for destruction. After a long moment, he reached out and touched Biol's claw. "Sir," the soldier reported to Admiral Galthan, "I think we made a mistake." High above the planet, Galthan felt the weight of centuries pressing down on him. He had built an empire on the principle that strength came from fear and pain, but these humans had done something impossible. They had turned his ultimate weapons into symbols of peace. "All ships," he announced to his fleet, "stand down. We are withdrawing." "Sir?" Velkoth asked. "What about the warbeasts?" Galthan looked at the screens one more time. He saw creatures that had been bred for war learning to play with children. He saw soldiers laying down their weapons to accept flowers from small humans. He saw something that his empire had never created. He saw hope. "The warbeasts no longer belong to us," he said quietly. Perhaps they never did. Years later, the galaxy was a different place. The Keltharian Empire had collapsed, not through war, but through the realization that their way of thinking was wrong. Other species looked to humanity for guidance on how to raise children and care for created beings. And on a small farm on Earth, a teenage Jiho studied xenobiology, while Biol, now the size of a small mountain, but gentle as a lamb, helped tend a garden where former weapons of war learned to grow flowers instead of fear. The warbeasts had found their true purpose at last. They were no longer destroyers of worlds. They were gardeners of peace.